Question number 1. Please tell us about yourself. What are your interests and hobbies? I am Mr. Tate Collins. I'm a chemistry teacher with 13 years of teaching experience, both in public and private in secondary schools in Cameroon and abroad. I am goal-oriented, result-driven, flexible, and a good team player. My interests will include, but not limited to, following up students' performances through coaching, mentorship, and encouraging low learners. My greatest interest is to convert low-performing learners into average-performing learners, and move average-performing learners into high-performing learners, and high-performing learners into excellent-performing learners. My hobbies will include swimming, reading, following up new latest scientific discovery, cooking, playing soccer and watching soccer, traveling, and meeting new people and new places. Question number 2. Are you involved in extracurricular activities that you could coach or supervise? Yes, I play soccer. I think I can coach and I can supervise soccer. Question number 3. Why did you decide to become a teacher for the subject for which you are applying? I always considered teaching as a noble profession from my school days, and chemistry was my best subject. Due to my high performance in the subject of chemistry, most of my teachers, my chemistry teachers, encouraged me to consider a career in teaching chemistry, which along the line, I fell in love with their advice, and I took over to follow a career in the teaching of chemistry. Question number 4. Are you currently employed as a teacher? Yes, I am presently the head of chemistry department at Macmillan Bilingual Academic. Even though I love my present role, I would love to take up something more challenging. Question number 5. How many hours per day do you teach, and how many days per week? I teach 8 hours a day and 4 days a week. That is 32 hours of effective classroom teaching. Question number 6. Describe your teaching experience. What subjects have you taught, and at what grade level? My teaching career began in the year 2004 after graduating from the School of Education of the University of Yaoundé 1. I was sent at GBHS Jakiri, where I taught chemistry from grade 7 to grade 12, and also taught physics from grade 7 to grade 12. During my 3-year stay in that school, I contributed enormously at the performance of at the national level of those who were going in for chemistry. And after acquiring 3 years of teaching experience in GBHS Jakiri, I was moved to teach at GBHS Bafia, which is located at the central region of the capital of Cameroon, where I taught chemistry still at grade 7 to grade 12, and I also taught physics at the same level. During my stay at GBHS Bafia, which took a period of 4 years, I contributed enormously to the performance of that school, in that the first thing I did is that increase the number of students that had interest in chemistry, including girls. Second thing is that our performance for chemistry at the National Examination Board skyrocketed. It was very, very impressive. So I spent 4 years in this school where I headed the chemistry department. After 4 years of teaching experience in GBHS Bafia, I decided to consider an international career in teaching, where I moved to South Africa, where I was employed around Hills College to teach physical sciences. I taught physical sciences from grade 10 to grade 12, and I also taught mathematics from grade 8 to grade 10. After a year of international experience in South Africa, I moved to Wendy Hood High School, where I spent 2 good years teaching physical sciences still at the same grade and at the same levels, that is physical sciences grade 10 to grade 12 and mathematics at grade 8 to grade 10. I stayed there for 2 years, where I contributed enormously at developing core curriculum for that school. After acquiring 3 years of international experience, I decided to come back to Cameroon to be able to put the knowledge at the service of my nation, where presently I'm employed, where I got an opportunity to head the chemistry department of Macmillan Bilingual High School, where presently I am teaching grade 10 to grade 12 physical chemistry and grade 10 to grade 12 physics. So presently I am at Macmillan Bilingual High School, where I lead the chemistry department. Question number 8. Have you ever worked in the United States? If so, when, where, and why? No, I have never worked at the United States of America before. Question number 9. What do you hope to be doing professionally 5 years from now? I have a dream that 5 years from now, I'll become a national pedagogic inspector for chemistry in my country, Cameroon. Or I have a dream of becoming a principal of one of the prestigious secondary schools in my country, Cameroon. Question number 10. If I were to talk to several of your colleagues, how would they describe your personality? I believe they would say warm, cordial, flexible, cooperative, a good team player, and always available to help. Question number 11. What would your students say about you? Some of them say I'm an inspiration to them, and some of them say I'm their role model. I think they will say I am friendly, I am understanding, I help them in one or several ways, and they will say I'm a good teacher with good mastery of my subject matter. Question number 12. How do you prepare to teach your lessons? I believe that proper preparation and planning prevents poor performance. So, preparation for lessons are very, very important to me. The first thing I do when preparing my lessons is to consult my pedagogic project or my progression form, which has my scheme of work broken down into units, weekly and daily workload. After consulting my progression form, the next thing I do is that I draw a lesson plan, whereby I bring out the lesson objectives and the lesson outcomes. Then I get textbooks and I prepare the notes. After preparing the notes, I look for adequate teaching aids or tele aids, which is going to help me buttress or consolidate my lesson, which I am going to be teaching. Question number 13. What will your lesson plan include? My lesson plan will include, first of all, the lesson outcome, the date, the time, the class to be taught, teacher's activity, students' activities, competencies to be acquired at the end of the lesson, and then the resources, that is the tele aids and the rest. Question number 14. Think about the class that you have taught recently. Talk about 2 of the teaching strategies or methods that you used. I just recently taught chemistry grade 12, where I taught the students on transition methods. The first method I employed when teaching them was the lecture method, where I explained to them, I lectured them on the transition methods, where they are located at the periodic table, their general characteristics, and after lecturing them, I moved on to the second method, which is the demonstration method. The demonstration method is, I carried out the demonstration in class in order to consolidate what I had taught them during the lecture method. So after following the demonstration now, they acquired some competencies. So the 2 methods I use is lecture method and the demonstration method for this class. Question number 15. What methods do you use to grade or evaluate your students' progress? I use several methods. First of all, I take cognizance of their participation and their performance in class. The second thing is a test or an exam. The third thing is assignments. The fourth thing is homework or group work. So I may use 2 or more of those methods to be able to assess students' performance or in order to evaluate them. Question number 16. If you use technology in your teaching, describe how you use it. Specifically discuss your experiences using a smart board and ways that you incorporate it into your lessons. Unfortunately, in Cameroon, we do not incorporate technology in teaching. So I have virtually no experience in the use of smartboard, but I'll be willing to do so to learn at the next given opportunity or the next available opportunity. Question number 17. Unfortunately, there is no question on question number 17. So I'll move to question number 18. If you have students who are noisy or non-attentive, share with us 2 ways you get them to be quiet and concentrate. The first way to get students who are noisy and who are not concentrating in the lesson is the first thing I would do is physically move towards the direction where the student or the students who are noisy and not cooperating are sitting. That will help them to sit up and pay attention to the class. The second thing I could do is that to make direct eye contact with the student or the students who are noisy in class and direct a question in their direction. That will cause the class to pay attention to them and will help them to be quiet and concentrate on what is going on in the class. So either I move towards them or I direct a question towards them. Question number 19. Describe the most difficult problem you have had to deal with as a teacher and how did you solve this problem? The most difficult problem I have had to deal with as a teacher is what I term disruptive student behavior and a campaign of xenophobia against my personality. This happened at Rand Hills College when I was teaching grade 12. There's one particular student who will always come to class with his smartphone. And every time I'm teaching a lesson, he will Google some words from the lesson and then get some information from Google which is disjointed or disconnected or out of context and will disrupt the class with questions in order to embarrass me. But most of the time, I will stay calm and show mastery of my subject matter. When he tried this several times and it did not work, he began a xenophobic campaign against my personality, which was very, very difficult for me to bear. How did I solve this problem? The first thing is that I stayed calm. The second thing is that I did not take it too personal. The third thing is that I decided to gain the student's friendship. Out of classes, I will go to him and talk with him. I did this for several weeks and several months, and after some time, he began to confide to me that he had personal problems at home. And after I tried to help him going about these issues, he stopped interrupting my classes and began to concentrate. Question number 20. Give one example to show that you are a flexible person and that you can make changes to your teaching and methods if that is necessary. One example I can think of is still at Rand Hills College. When I was employed to teach physical science only. But along the line, something happened with the teacher that was teaching mathematics for grade 8 to grade 10. He left, so the students had no mathematics teacher. So the principal contacted me and asked me to take over the class and teach mathematics for grade 8 to grade 10. I told him I was not trained to teach mathematics, but he insisted on me taking over that class. The truth is that I've never taught mathematics before in my career. I had to sit down and study mathematics and review mathematics and teach the class. And I was happy that at the end of the year, the students performed. Somehow their performance was encouraging in mathematics. But the area of flexibility is that despite the fact that I took over this class, there was no additional numeration in my salary. It was still for the same salary which I was employed to teach physical science. Question number 21. Is there anything you would like to add about your qualifications that we may not be aware of? Yes, I have a bachelor's degree in theology. Question number 22. Have you spoken to your family about going to the United States to teach? Is there anything such as a family member that might object to your leaving home? Are you aware that your family members may not join you here until approximately 4 to 6 weeks after your arrival? Absolutely. Question number 23. Do you understand and accept that PHASIS is a 3-year program and after 3 years you must return to your home country? Do you agree to this? Absolutely, yes.